corrupt. The permanent secretaries are corrupt. Government officials are corrupt. So therefore, y'all are admitting that there is corruption. So y'all can't come and say, oh, we are committed to fighting corruption. You mean y'all committed to fighting the same corruption that y'all said don't exist? And when y'all say y'all are committed to eliminating corruption and fighting corruption, means that y'all are committed to fighting against y'all self, because all y'all are corrupt from the president right down. And this is why there can't be no, there really can't be no fight on corruption, you know, because all of them are corrupt. And let me tell you how what I should say. Let me tell you how these mob bosses, these criminals work. Is the vice president is Irfan Ali, and then make no mistake, then Nandalal comes. He's like the third or fourth powerful person in the party. He's the attorney general, of course. He's a murderer, a thief, a liar. I've said it numerous occasions. I don't need to tell y'all what Nandalal is capable of. Y'all know what Jack Joe is capable of. Y'all know what Irfan Ali is capable of. So this is how they control the economy, and they have a say in anything, and this is how the corruption works. Everybody get their own particular sector. So Anil, he is responsible for the money laundering and stuff when it comes to like the super bets. He is the real owner for Sleeping Casino and all these gambling locations. That is Anil. That's his thing. He is money laundering. He is that thing. And every now and again, he would kill an activist. You know, if they upset you, if they're coming outside the office and beating drums and calling you a crook and saying that the people deserve to go. Every now and again, he'll pay, you know, he and his partner, Anand Prasad, who owns NTN, where I used to work, by the way. Every now and again, they will pay to kill a few activists or, you know, just unalive them. So that's Anil. Then there is Irfan Ali, who has always been corrupt when it comes to the selling of state assets, state lands, and those kind of things. That's his thing. That is why he has such a firm control and hold over the Ministry of Housing. Don't be fooled. Colin Crowell and Susan Roderick, they were just there in namesake. Just like how he's there as the president in namesake. It's like he really and truly, he was the minister of he still is the minister of housing, because he holds on to that ministry, because that is where he makes his money. That's where he made his riches. That is where he started his corruption. That is where he started selling state lands. That's where he started selling lands. That's where he made most of his money, and where he continues to make more of his money. So he holds on to housing and all these things, and he also have all the other corrupt deal that he has his friends fronting. He get his drawback according to, you know, his friends, according to his best friend Sana. His mother will collect the 5%. He has his brother, who is a Canadian citizen, who he just gave all the contract to do those I think it's millions of dollars in I was working on that to get it out, but millions of dollars, millions of US in contract that he would have given to his brother, who's a Canadian citizen. So Irfan Ali, brother, I hope that you are declaring all those international earnings to the Canadian authorities, because I do plan on writing a letter to the Canadian authorities informing them that you would have all these multi-million dollars. Since y'all want to sue me here in America, I only think it's fair that the Canadian authorities are paid their taxes, their correct taxes. So I do hope, Irfan Ali, that your brother that owns was it Raz Construction? I'm gonna get the name because I have all the documents, I have everything that he owns. I do hope that he is declaring all of his profits that he's making overseas, his international profit, because as a Canadian citizen, he is required to do so. So I do hope that he's declaring all of his profits that he's making in Guyana from all those contracts that you giving him, that GWI is giving him to build all those water well and all those things that they get going on. I do hope that, he's declaring all of that to the Canadian authorities, because I have a letter that is already prepared and I intend on writing to the Canadian authorities. I do hope that any business that is in your mom's name in Guyana as well, I hope that she's declaring her taxes as well, because I do plan on writing as it relates to where the rich is coming from, how much money in the bank account, and if they're paying taxes on those money in the bank account. Because what your mother and I think we all fail to realize is that when you all sue people and you all sue people internationally and you all are going people after Facebook and Meta and Mark, is that you have now introduced yourself and your family to be scrutinized internationally. And that is what I intend to do. I intend to bring the international attention that you guys are looking for to your family. So I really, really hope that all y'all ducks are in a row. Okay? Yes. So then we have Irfan, like I was said, selling houses and the house lots and all kind of things. He continues to sell state property. As you can see, Mohammed did a video about Sheriff owning these lands and all his friends and family that are using state-owned land. I would have posted last year about where he built a house for his side chick in Eccles on somewhere that was supposed to be a play field or something for the kids in Eccles in those areas. Then, so he controls that along with his drawback. He got the energy thing going. That's why he put Indar as the Minister of Energy and whatever else, and water and transportation, whatever else he get going on there, because Indar is the partner. So they can cook up the own thing with the oil and gas and all that. He can get the drawback from Indar, wherever corruption they get going on. Then he get, like I say, he get Jumbo Jet and all them big contractors. Then he get the Trinidadian crew. So let me tell you this man does make money all around. You understand? So when the man when the man tell y'all we're going to have a beautiful Christmas. What is it? We will have a beautiful Christmas. He was talking about, he wasn't talking about y'all. I know I could have tell y'all that he's not talking.
Welcome to Through the Grapevine. She's courageous. She's fearless. She's wanted, dead or alive, by the government of Guyana. They have tried to get her deported. They have persecuted her family. They have tried everything. She stands strong. She stands dominant. She stands in the capacity of the most outspoken activist that Guyana has ever had in recent times. Melissa Ann Atwell, popularly known as Melly Mel, sits down with Through the Grapevine today.
Afternoon. Hey.
Okay. Hey, Melly Mel, Melissa Ann Atwell here. Look, you look stunning. Look,
Thank you.
let me say this, and I want to be very serious because I want you to do most of the talking. So in my introduction, let me just say this. When I was in my 20s, I had the opportunity to stand next to one of the most powerful female activists in Guyana. Her name is Karen D'Souza. And she had done a vigilant fast outside of Parliament. She was exposing the murders and the extrajudicial killings and the oppression in Guyana. And I stood with her for one day, for 12 hours, outside of Parliament building in Georgetown. I have never, ever felt goosebumps on my skin standing next to a woman. And the next time I felt that is when I spoke to you today, when you called in first. I recognized that from Karen right down to you, I was and is in the presence of an extraordinary person, a person who would give their life for the liberation of their people, meaning the people of Guyana. You're fearless, you're courageous, You wanted dead or alive by this PPP government, and
Yeah.
you are still standing, exposing the evils of that government in representation of the masses of Guyanese. Melimel, welcome to Through the Grapevine.
Thank you for having me, Norman. Finally, after so many years, so many years. How are you?
Well, I'm trying. I'm fine. I'm trying. We're still in the struggle. I'm here trying to emulate you. I'm here trying to emulate
Well,
you.
that's how it is.
I want to begin by you saying to our viewers, my platform. I want you to tell them who's Melly Mel. You don't need any introduction, but for formality's sake, tell them who is Melly Mel.
Uh, so, Norman, it's funny that you should start with that question. What I'm going to do, I'm going to tell you something. So, somebody saw, I'm not going to call name, right? But somebody saw I was going to be interviewed by you today. And so the person called me a couple hours ago to warn me. And the person was like, Melly Mel, be careful on that interview with Norman because he has a way of asking you questions that will make you uh, tie up yourself or will make you be contradicting yourself. And he's very, you got to be careful. He's very smart when he's asking questions. And I said to that person, that is quite okay. I said you can only contradict yourself and you can only not be able to deal with a journalist or an activist like that if you don't live your truth or if you're not genuine in what you're saying and what you're doing. And for me, I live my truth.
Yes,
Melly
yes.
Mel is somebody that lives her truth. So I have no problem with Norman interviewing me or doing his interview his way or how he does it. I agree to the interview. And when I agree to interview, you ask me like, what is it you want to talk about? And I was like, Norman, it's fine. Whatever you want to ask is fine because nothing is off limits. Go right ahead. So to put that in a nutshell with a little story, all I'm just trying to say is that, Melly Mel is somebody that lives her truth, that believes in justice, that wants to help her people, that wants to see better for her people. Um, that's the only reason why I do what I do. I have kind of eased a little bit, but I'm here.
What gives you your inspiration? Tell us how you started out. What caused you to connect? Because we know that you were always just another Guyanese woman, ambitious, working, doing positive things like any regular woman in Guyana. Today, you're an extraordinary Guyanese. My skin is growing at the moment. I am talking to one of the most powerful women and fearless women that Guyana has today. All that transition happened from being just Melly Mel to a woman who is known throughout the Guyanese world for her
How
courage.
does I think first let me address the connection with a lot of what I do. The connection is there because Norman, I've been in a lot of those positions that a lot of women and a lot of us as human find ourselves in. And I've been saying this to a friend a couple of weeks ago, and I have literally been I can relate to rape victims because I'm a rape victim. I can relate to somebody who's been robbed. I can relate to being molested. I can relate to being homeless. I could relate to being poor. I can relate to having nothing to eat. I can relate to having no one to turn to, no one to talk to, no one to look up to, no one to help, no one to ask for something. Because I can relate to these things because I've been there. I think that's where the connection comes, or that's what makes me, I don't know, so sympathetic towards people. Like Sherrod once told me, he feels as though I have a love for people that I really and truly can't explain.
Well,
I don't think I'm hearing you, Norman. I don't know if you're hearing me.
Sorry. Sorry, I was muted. Melissa Ann earlier, she's just given us a revelation. One of the reasons why she transitioned into one of the most powerful women Guyana has today, has today. And you said to this program that you are a rape victim. Could you expand on what you mean there?
No, I'm a victim. I've been raped before. I think I've said this. I've spoken on this when I launched my foundation in 2018. And for those of for some of them on the live who have been following me for years, because people have literally been following me for years, Norman. People have been following me since Fab Kids days. That was since like 2014, 2015, and that was just before APNU got into office in 2015. That is when like I really kicked off my activism, well, I should say my political activism more. But people have been following me for a while. I have been doing little charities here and there for a while. And that's because I grew up with my grandmother. And where I was living, when I grew up with my grandmother, where I was living, she was always bringing somebody into the home. Somebody was always stopping for a couple of months. Somebody always had nowhere to go that was going to be staying at the house with us. So I guess it kind of comes from there because she was always helping somebody. So I grew up watching my grandmother always giving, always helping, always bringing home families, always taking care of kids, always taking in somebody kid and looking them after. So I guess it kind of comes from my grandmother a little bit, but I literally grew up seeing my grandmother do this.
Wow. Look, I want to say this. I want to say this. When you talked about that, I'm getting a clearer picture. What produces great people, especially women, and I want to say primarily black women. I mentioned black to a politician last night, and he tried to, he said don't mention black and so on, and so on. So I know some people may surrender their blackness for whatever reason, but I refer to you now as a black activist, a black woman in the struggle, and I hope you don't have a problem with that. But now you're
No, I
saying
don't.
that, now you're saying that, and that connection is clearer now because you remind me of Maya Angelou, one of the greatest poets, one of the greatest activists the world has had, one of the greatest minds the world has had. And Maya Angelou was raped as a child. And so she talked about that, and in many ways, that influence or power of expression and or ability and our commitment to fight for justice and to fight for women and men. My question to you is that your struggle is similar because though you were raped, and I swear to you, it is the first time I'm hearing this and I'm following you and I follow
Oh
you.
wow,
I
no,
swear on this program, I
Norman.
swear,
I
it is
don't.
the first time I'm hearing this, and that's why I'm so passionate.
So Norman. So the first time, no, I don't know if well, I'm sure people knew. I always talk about being molested about being molested as a child, and like I said to you, my grandmother house was always taking strangers in. Somebody was always coming to stay with us because she was always taking in these people. She was always looking after these people. I talk about being molested as a child. I was molested as a child. However, I wasn't sexually penetrated as a child, but I was molested in other ways. But I eventually was raped when I was in my teens, and I spoke about this. I spoke about this. That is why I think in 2018 or 2017, I was making a Facebook post, and I was publicly talking about rape victims and about being raped. And I post a message. I post a status saying, "Have you ever been raped?" And have you ever been raped? Did you tell anyone? If you did, why? And if you didn't, why not? And I asked that question. And I asked that question because when I was raped, I didn't tell anyone. So I wanted to know if my reason for not saying anything was every other young women, every other young woman that was raped reason for not saying something. So I honestly wanted to know. And to my surprise, people started commenting in the inbox. People started sending me their rape stories, and before you know it, I was at 300 and something rape stories on my social media Facebook page, and it opened this. And Norman, during that time, I heard stories of women being raped by people that I know personally.
Wow.
And I was shocked, right? That they were these are women that was raped by people that I know personally, and that they never said anything because for some reason or the other they were scared. A lot of them gave a lot of explanation as to why they never said anything. Some of the stories I post and some of the stories I read, you would think is out of a movie.
Wow. I
And I still have those stories. Maybe I'll refresh it sometime. But why I don't do that is because sometimes those stories it kind of triggers rape victim. So if you're a rape victim, there are certain things that trigger you. If you have been molested when you're a child or so, there are certain things that trigger you and certain things that remind you of that time, remind you of that thing. And I speak on this all the time. For me, my trigger is milk. So I don't drink tea because that's my trigger.
Oh my. Melly Mel, I want to say this. I really want to say this. I'm taken aback because I'm seldom, in doing interviews and so on, I'm seldom kind of taken aback and so on. I pride myself being an activist with my ear to the ground. So I know things that I don't talk
Mhm.
about on my platform, that I would talk about with people in the background, where we kick some, we have fun, like about, like fun where you talk and so on with your
I know,
people.
I know.
But hear this. I have never, ever heard that. And I swear
Well,
on my life. Let me say
Well,
this.
I'm sure that there are a couple of people on the live that has probably never heard this story before either.
I
But
never.
I've
How,
spoken publicly about
how
it.
did you? How were you able to do your activism in such a powerful and positive way, representing men and women like Maya Angelou did? Many people who were raped, a lot of women who were raped, they become bitter, and even if they become activists or they become rights campaigners or so on, you can sense a sort of dislike, for the want of a better term, for men,
Mhm.
and it becomes evident, and so on. How were you able not to be like that and to fight for everyone in this struggle that you're fighting?
Um, again, Norman, like I said, you have to have a certain kind of empathy and uh, you have to have some empathy and mercy for people. You have to have genuine love for people are wanting to do the right thing, wanting to help. So I started out this activism thing by helping rape victims, like we'll give them a lending, direct them in forms of getting counsel. Some of them don't want to go forward. You see, and what I learned in doing all of this too is that our system is so broken in Guyana. The system is so broken in Guyana, and nothing is being done to fix it. For all the years all the years I've been doing this, nothing is being done to fix it. It's one recurring cycle all the time, and I don't know when it's going to end. That is why I called out Vinya Prasad the other day, because I'm like, this is one recurring cycle. We see this all the time. A teen get killed, a young lady get killed. You come on the news, you talk, you visit her, you give the family a hamper, you give them some money, you pay for the funeral, and you do this. You take out pictures and you talk about how you're going to be stern on these pedophiles and on these rapists, and you're not going to tolerate it and all these things. And then 2 or 3 days after, we're back to square one until the next victim makes the news again. So I realized that we are living Guyanese, I should say, is living with a very broken system. And the only way that rape victims are heard is when I highlight these problems via social media. Then everybody tries to say, "Oh, I can help to do this. I can fix this." That is when the government actually reach out and try to actually do something for rape victims. So I'm basically trying to say I've learned that you have to shame this government into doing their job,
You have to shame this government to get
into doing
anything
their
out
jobs.
of into
Mhm.
doing their jobs. Melissa Ann Atwell
So
here
Yeah, so
on.
that's how I started, and then people started reaching out to me for other things. And of course, I'm not the type of person. If you know me, Norman, if I can help, I will help. It don't matter who it is, who you be, your race, color. I really don't care whether it's a female, whether it's a male. I literally help everybody. Don't ask me how I do it because I really and truly can't explain it. I've helped so much people that I don't even remember sometimes. They literally have to remind me of something that I've done for them. And I always talk about some of the most touching things that I've done for people and I don't even remember. I remember like last year, like 2 years ago, I was walking down, Liberty. We have the 1st of September where they have the Labor Day. So I'm walking down Labor Day and everybody is greeting me and saying hi and everything. And this young lady walks up to me. She's here in the US. And I swear, Norm, that was one of the most touching moments, like in just one. I'm just stating one. And she walks up to me and she says, she gives me a hug. And I'm like, hi. And I smile. I'm like, I'm saying, and you're smiling. And she said, but I know you don't remember me. And I'm like, not really. And so remind me. And she was like, Melly, during COVID, you ensured that me and my kids had food every month. I would drop off hampers for them. And she was like, I'm the girl from, she called the village name. And I'm like, oh my God. Because I remember, because I was dropping off hampers to so many people. I was giving so many people food because everybody was locked up and wasn't working, wasn't getting paid and all these things. And I was like, hey, yeah, oh my God. And she gave me a hug and she said, thank you. She said, I will never forget you. I'm forever grateful for what you did for me. And that's just one story.
Wow.
So
Look,
I guess things like that are things like that. I can say that
it's
stories like
those
that
things
and
are
things like that
priceless.
motivate me.
Those things are
Yes.
priceless. Look, and it brings me to this point. It brings me to this question. You 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 change lives every day. You save lives every day. You you just have to say something in representation of someone who is being abused, who is being persecuted, who is being slighted, who is being you just have to say something, and the world, the Guyanese world, knows about it, and action is taken. So you are saving lives, you are creating a world, a Guyanese world for people that even if people want to do them anything, they have to think, if this happens and it goes on Melly Mel, wait.
No,
So if
it's
this
so
happens, so
funny.
you are actually preventing things, and
No,
that is, yeah, go ahead.
when you said that, and I remember you said that, and I remember a story. So sometimes, because I have so many messages in my inbox, I'm not always able to get to everybody. And when you say that, I want to say something. I want to say shout out to the people that follow me and the people that have been supporting me for years because they have actually helped me to create this platform that I know that is now being given to me. This huge platform that has now been given to me that I'm able to do what I'm doing because I couldn't have done this without people pressing that like and follow button to follow to see and want to know what is actually happening in Guyana. And so funny you tell the story because I remember sometimes I don't always get to inbox to read all the messages that I receive. And sometimes I would read a message like 3 months after I'm seeing the message and I'm saying, hey, do you need still help still with this? Somebody to borrow money from them or thief the stuff, don't want to return it back, or workplace didn't want, they want to pay them their leave money, all these things, different Norman, so many complaints. And sometimes I would say, hey, do you still need help with this? Like what's happening? They was like, no, 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 Auntie Mel is fine. I tell them I go into Melly Mel and they pay me.
Wow.
And it's just, I remember
It's
one time I post.
Melly's thousands of people. People don't say that. And one of
It's
the
a
things
lot.
about activism and about Guyanese, they wait until people die to give them the flowers. They wait, But what happens is that people have conversation about you all over the world. I go into places in the Guyanese circle here, and your name is being mentioned. That is what we call immortality, even when you're alive, and that is a powerful thing, a very very powerful thing. It's energy. It's real energy. But I believe that the work you are doing, you must be rewarded for it. I know this government will not give you any lifetime
You know what,
achievement
Norman?
award, but because
Norman, listen. I am rewarded. I know people think Norman, I am rewarded. I'm blessed with, I have friends that love me. I have family that love me. I have people that are dear for me. That makes me feel safe and I can trust. And as you can see, when I was locked up, what happened? So many people came out in support for me. So many people donated to my GoFundMe. So many people wanted to do so many things for me. The love was, I was overwhelmed. I had no idea what was happening while I was in there, because we don't have access to anything. So we don't know anything what's going on outside. And then our phone calls are limited when the day come and all that. So I had no idea the commotion that was happening outside. And I'm outside and I'm hearing, I made international news, and Joyce Reid and all these people are shouting to the Free Melly Mel. And, we had congresswomen and congressmen saying Free Melly Mel. And it was amazing. It was amazing, Norman, the support I received during that time. So, like I said, again, those are things that motivate me, because I know now that I'm just not doing this and then shit hit the fans and shit hit the fan, and nobody is there to support me, or nobody have my back. But there are people that genuinely, appreciate what I do. They might not come to front, they're behind the scene, but they really truly do look out for me.
Wonderful. I just want our views, and I know that
And I
your
say
your
that,
your
and I say,
original
Norman, that is my blessing.
your original Facebook platform was removed, and so
Mhm.
I want the viewers here
Yeah.
to follow your new page, and
Hmm.
to build your because you're getting a fight. They will do everything, and there's some
So,
telepathy
Norman,
here.
Norman,
There's some telepathy
Norman,
here
this is
because because
Norman.
we are flowing. All the questions I said to ask you, you were raising the issues before I ask you them. So we'll
Before
talk
you
now
get to
about
ask.
the prison.
Mhm.
We'll talk about being locked up. But what the government did, the Guyana government actually moved to get you deported. And that was to return you. I can say this on this program, that to get you returned to Guyana to kill you, because you are exposing this government the way no one else in the country is able to do, or out of the country is able to do. You are exposing this regime. And if the opposition were different, they would have been in government today. You are doing what the opposition and everybody else supposed to do. You understand? So you are carrying a country and a struggle on your shoulder. Talk to us a bit about your arrest by ICE. How did you feel? What happened in your mind to know a government, an entire government of your country, is coming after you in that most merciless way?
Well, here's what, Norman. I knew that they wanted me back home by any means necessary. And don't get me wrong, Norman, they are still trying. As we speak
Yes.
right now, Anil and the president is they have something cooking up. They're going around trying a way to get me to come back home. And I say to people all the time, I must have been doing something right for so many people to be able to trust me with so many information. Norman, it is amazing. I was talking to a friend the other day, and every time a name of somebody comes up, I know a story about the person, or at some point in time, somebody told me something about the person, or I knew something. And it's just amazing that I have so many things about people and places and politicians and activists and all these things, all these information that just comes to you and it's just there. But what I'm saying all this to say, people really, really, really do trust me, Norman. And I must have been doing something right for members of the PP to trust me, because these information that I get are they know for a fact that they know that it's true, even though they might try to deny it. Oh, it's not true, and all she tells is propaganda. They know it's true. I come with my evidence, and I present the evidence. It's there. The fact are there. The paperwork is there. Everything is there. So, uh, something is wrong with a country when something is terribly, terribly wrong with a country when members of the sitting government, when members of the sitting government reaches out to people like me to give them information on the government that they're a part of.
Go ahead,
And
Melly
not
Mel.
just me. And not just one person. I'm talking about a number of persons. So these information are coming from different ministries, different organization, different public office, and all these information are coming to me. So I used to be getting so much information that they banned cell phones from government building. Now, when you're going to talk to a minister or permanent secretary or any one of them, they don't want you to come in with any cell phone because they don't want anything to get leaked to Melly Mel. Nevertheless, people are still finding ways to send me information. Because they say the stricter the government, the wiser the population. So people are still finding ways to send me all these information. And not only that, I realize now that a lot more people are coming out to speak on things that I've been speaking on for years and saying everything that this young lady have been advocating for and talking about is true. Everything that she says is true, which only prove what everything that I say, it's a fact. You can't deny it.
Somebody inside the PPP told me a serious story. They told me that Anil Nandalal, the Minister of Legal Affairs, is so obsessed with you. He's so obsessed with you that
Yes.
he's in meetings. He's in meetings, right? And official government meetings, and he's talking about issues, legal issues, and suddenly just say Melly Mel, Melly Mel, Melly Mel, Melly Mel. Like the people start like looking like what's like he gets flashback.
Norman, Norman, he is
It's true.
upset.
I'm not making it up.
It's
He's
true.
obsessed.
He is obsessed. He is obsessed with me. He's obsessed to a point now. You know what they do him every Thursday when they have their PPP? And again, this is coming from people inside the party.
Inside,
So every
yes.
Thursday, when they have their Congress, their meeting, their cabinet meeting, all the government official and the PP members or so, they read. They don't be fooled. They don't miss the post. They don't miss a post from my page. So they read everything I said about everybody for the week. They read it in the meeting. So every time I say something about Anil, they read it in the meeting and they're rubbing one another and laughing about it and stuff like that. But they do pay very close attention to my page. Everything is there, everything they read. So Anil has this obsession because Anil has been writing letters to the US State Department on information I post, and I am harassing government officials. I'm harassing their wives. I'm harassing these innocent young ladies that I post all these negative and these false things about them. And let me just say this. It's not that I'm not trying. Here's my thing, Norman. Norman, if you have a wife and you have a side chick and you are doing what you have to do for your side chick. You're a man that working, you got your own money, you're taking care of your side chick, you buy 5 car for she, you buy house for she. You are doing that. Norman, you are not a public figure. You are not a member of government. You are not holding public office. I have a problem with ministers and the president holding public office and using taxpayers' money and resources to fund their side chick lifestyle. So it's not me coming after your side chick. I don't care about you and your
Are
side
you
chick.
saying that the president of Guyana got a side chick and he has been funding her lifestyle? Is that what you're saying to this program?
He has many side chicks, Norman. Norman, this man just took a play field that was supposed to be for the community in Eccles and built a house for his side chick on it.
The president of Guyana, Irfan Ali.
President of Guyana just took a playing field in Eccles that was supposed to be for the community, for the children in the community, and build a house, just give it to his side chick. This man created this whole Norman. If I sit here to start
you got
talking,
time. No, you need to talk. You got time.
Norman, this man created an entire youth organization that he's now funneling millions of dollars into. That he now have to continue to funnel taxpayers' money into. He created that organization, that program for his side chick. She was the head of it until, of course, I made the wife found out. And then the wife started kicking up about it and stuff. So now he had to remove her. But now he can't remove the entire program and the entire organization. So he is now funding that youth program, that youth organization with taxpayers' money, an organization that does nothing really. When have you heard about what do they do? Nothing. But he can't dissolve that organization and that program now because
Sorry,
it's gonna look
excuse me.
bad. Oh, so because you move your side chick, she's not the head of it no more. Oh, so now you dissolve this organization? No, so he got to keep up. He got to keep up. He got to keep up
So
throwing
the
money
wife,
into this.
first lady, is aware of his infidelity
She is.
and his adulterous lifestyle.
She is.
She's aware. Mel Mel,
Hmm.
you know what is going on in the government, and everything you say, people tell me it's gospel. You shoot straight from the hip, and you expose. Do you think the president is a corrupt person? Do you
Do I
think?
think the president is a corrupt person? That's what you asked me, Norman.
Yes.
I think the president is the most corrupt president in the history of Guyana.
Why do you say that?
Because, okay,
Talk to us.
so let me tell you how the corruption works in Guyana. He has beaten Jack Joe by a mile. So this is how it works. It's divided into three. Basically, it's divided into three sectors. The president controls some of the road contracts where he gives, as long as going into $2-3 billion, it goes to his friend. Kears, it goes to the Sammy from Trinidad, his Trinidad company. It goes to Sona. Well, now he's Sona get wrong since the interview where Sona accused his mother of collecting his 5% and running them down for him. So he kind of out in the cold right now. But he has these companies that he gets drawback from bidding. He has the I'm sure you're following Devin Singh with the Chinese guy that he's exposing now. That is basically the new Sue that is negotiating
Wow.
between the Chinese mafia and the president and all these things. And his sister is the ambassador to China. So he's negotiating all these deals with the Chinese now, these Chinese construction company, and a whole lot of other things. These people have given, and I have a copy of it, by the way. Now you can tell me, why does your friend, need diplomatic passport? Why does Antar Narayan and his wife have diplomatic passport? What do they do for the government that warranty them diplomatic passport? They're not a member of government. They're not a member. They don't hold public office, but they have diplomatic passport. So what he's doing now, because the feds have been stopping all of his people at the airport and questioning them, or attempting to question them, as in the case of Vikram Bharat with the gold smuggling, he is now issuing his people, like the people that launder his money, diplomatic passport, so they're not stopped when they're going through the airport.
This is serious corruption. This is
It's
serious corruption.
so when I see when I saw the Fox headline with Irfan Ali, what is it? I don't want to, something about fighting the cartel, joining Trump,
Yeah,
about
he's joining
using
Trump
Trump
to
to fight the cartel.
again. Yeah,
And I'm like,
the war
I'm
on
like,
drugs.
the war on drugs. I'm like, does Trump know that all of his friends are drugs dealer? Does Trump know the war on drugs are actually the war on his family and friends? I'm like, it's crazy.
Melly Mel, you said somebody said to you that I will ask the hard questions. You got me in my seat, and I'm so surprised because some of these things I
And I'm
really
looking
don't know.
forward to the
I
loss, because I'm sure, so they'll probably send another lawyer's letter sometime after this interview, Norman.
look. I
I'm
am
over
saying
it.
this to you. You can say whatever you want on this platform. I'm not afraid of them, and I know you're not afraid of them. They're watching this right now. I didn't ask you to say allege or anything. I am saying that everything you're saying, those things are facts. Is a bunch of criminals in the PPP government, and not only criminals, people
Mafia. It's
that have
mafia in the
made a
country.
career. They've made a career in hurting the Guyanese people, black people, primarily, and their job is to ensure that
And it's
black people
not
gets
just,
nothing in Guyana.
and it's Norman, it's an organized system of crimes and corruption. It is well organized, from the Guyana police force to the permanent secretaries to the ministers to the president to the vice president, to the attorney general to the DPP that collects money from drug dealers. The DPP. It's an organized. Norman, if I tell you things, it's
You can
okay.
talk.
So, all right, let me give you.
You can talk.
We have Mitchell Caesar that was just sent on administrative leave pending an investigation
Is
because
he a
it's
commissioner, acting commissioner of police or something like that?
he is something. Every year they keep promoting him. I think he's the acting commissioner of police, and they have him. He's head of crime. He's head of crime. So he's been head of crime for years, and he's been getting away with these crimes for years. He's been getting away with crimes for years. Now he's the head of crime, and then
And his visa is
he
revoked.
his visa is revoked, right? He's the head of crime who puts other police officers in charge of different crime division in different town that have to give him a salary every week based on how much bribe money they get, how much they collect. So let's say we have the officer in Bartica that is the head of crime. He has to pay Mitchell Caesar, who's who's the boss, a salary every week from his criminal activity. And that is how the system works. You want to get rid of something, or to do something, you go to Mitchell Caesar. He's the head of crime. He knows how to get away with these murders and these crimes. So he takes your money and he tell you how to get away with it. And then they pretend as though they're investigating. That's how it works.
Look, we can talk all day about this because so many people have tuned in. So many people are tuning in. I don't want you to rush. You got at least 20 minutes more before we wrap up. But I want to talk to you because I want your input and I want your voice on this issue. A young
All right.
child, a 3 year a
Mhm.
3 year old child. You can. I will play a clip so you can get some water, some wine, and things and so on. You get a break. But there has been a 3 year old child 2 years ago that was raped. 3 year old girl that was raped by your
I remember that.
stepfather, and
Mhm.
this person was released on bail. We understand that he has connections with people in government. He was released on
They
bail.
always have connections with people in government.
It's a very very sad story. So I want to play this clip briefly. I don't want to play the entire clip, but I want our viewers to hear the father of this child pleading. Of course, we know Dr. Simona Brooms, who is a political leader, has been fighting for justice for this father and for the family because this child needs justice. We understand that this man, Linden, whatever his name is free. We understand that he's in Venezuela. I know the PPP government is into the extradition game. But this is a child
Mhm.
that needs justice. And I want your direct input on it. Let's go to this clip. I am sorry for all the negative things.
Good day. Well, like I was introduced, I'm German Edwards. I'm from Esquivo. I came here this morning to just reiterate what happened in 2024. Back then, she was just 3, my daughter. Attending school, she was always joyful. She jovial. She was always attentive. She's the one of the favorites with the teachers. You know, a jolly person. You know. So one day, the teacher gave me a call. She told me that the child came to school. Well, the day previously she came to school, she wasn't attentive to her work. She wasn't this jolly person as she knows, but she just help her through the day. The following day was the same thing, but this day the child was more frustrated. She gave her the normal day's work, but the child she just dung her head on the desk. She refused to do the work, scratching on the paper and so on, frustrated.
Was she with you then? Your
Yeah,
daughter,
she
or
was.
she?
No, she was with the mother then.
Okay.
She was the mother for about a week
Okay.
within that time. The teacher then asked her what's wrong. And she's very forward, she's brave. So she told the teacher that, well, the mother is living with somebody. I entrusted her that, it's her child. We were co-parenting. I said that she would give the same attention as I would, the same care as I would. So I was a little concerned, but not that worried. It's the mother. I said a mother's love towards her daughter and so on. So she told the teacher that this guy, this stepfather, the mother would have her call him Daddy London, was tickling her all night, and she couldn't sleep. So the teacher, being a fellow woman, she became concerned. She called me. Well, me as the father, as soon as I heard about it, there's not something to take lightly with your children.
Yeah.
So the welfare was notified. Me, along with the child, we went to the welfare officer.
Speak up a little bit for them. The saying is very low.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thanks for that.
Yeah. There they interviewed the child. They asked her if he was playing with her vagina and stuff like that. But the terminology to this child, they didn't really have a proper interview with a child. I wasn't satisfied. But remember, it's their job, so I didn't really comment on it. So the child wasn't saying much. So I figure it's because of me. She was probably embarrassed because she's very smart. So I left the room and I told the officer that, maybe she can do the interview in my absence and so on. I trust her with that. I left the room. It wasn't 2 minutes. She came out and told me no, she didn't get anything from this child. But I wasn't satisfied. So I took it to the police station. I made a report. The welfare officer told me that, well, before I left there, she told me that she's gonna come to the school and speak to the teacher in my presence. It's nursery, so that would have been around midday. I waited at the school until probably 2 o'clock. She never showed. Then is when I decided to go to the station because I wasn't taking my daughter home in a state. And I know how the law is. When I'm saying it, not everyone, but most of these police officers, they don't care unless it's something personal. So I went to the station, I made a report. The officer told me that she would get a female officer to accompany me and I need a female family member. We went to the hospital. This might sound wrong, but in my mind, I already knew something was wrong. And I was thinking, oh, this is how bad this is. My good thought was, oh, he probably just fondled this child. Imagine that had to be my good thought. So we went to the hospital and so on. She was there with the female doctor. They did what they did. I had to wait outside. The police officer, my female family member, and the female doctor, the gynecologist, they did what they did. So my cousin came out first, and I could see the expression on her face. I asked her what happened. She just went in a corner crying. The police officer came out and told me that I can go in now and talk to the doctor. When I was in there, imagine the doctor and the police officer, they introduced me with a warning. What I'm about to hear, don't do nothing drastic. Don't do nothing that would involve myself. Don't, with this. So right away I became concerned. Anyway, the doctor carried on telling me that my daughter, my 3-year-old daughter, is not, her hymen is not intact. My 3-year-old daughter. And that she's been penetrated. So when she said penetrated, I asked her if, like, with the finger could have caused it. She said no. Well, alright, I didn't want more of a definition. I already know where she's coming from. So in all this hurt, she comforted me again, told me that don't do anything, but there's more. When you hear this and there's more. So she told me.
Melissa Ann Atwell, popularly known as Melly Mel here on Through the Grapevine. We're wrapping up. We're coming down to crunch time. And Melly Mel, you've watched that clip as the thousands of people who have tuned in have watched this clip. Talk to us about this, and what would you like to say? Look, it hurts to see how corrupt and evil and wicked the Guyana police force is. It hurts. But talk to us. Talk to us about this issue.
Norman, there's a saying in Guyana that says, who got money got bargain. And that is that statement is so true. I mean, we use it wildly. We just kind of throw it around sometimes, but it's an actual fact. Who got money got bargain. Now here it is. A 3-year-old child was brutally raped. When it comes to the rape of children and women being abused in Guyana, this government is tone deaf. This government, for the last 5 years, let's say 6 years, I have not seen the Ministry of Social Protection. I mean, they're saying, oh, the laws are there. The laws are there to protect children. The laws are there. But if the laws are there, then the system is definitely broken. Because we see nothing happening to these pedophiles. They're coming out on $100,000 and $200,000 and $500,000 bail, and before you know it, while they're on bail, so you're putting these pedophiles and these rapists on bail, and while they're on bail, they're committing the same crimes. They're raping and abusing children again. This government have a responsibility to protect women and children from sexual violence and domestic violence, and the Ministry of Social Protection, while billions of dollars is allocated to her ministry every single month for these very same causes, we don't hear or see anything. I don't see not one campaign. I don't see not one program. I don't see the bringing in. I don't see even to the police force. When is the last time we heard about any exercise where the Guyana police force, where they're training them on how to deal with sexual assault? Build them. You go to the police station and the police asking you, you're telling the police you get raped, and the police asking you, you sure the man raped? Like, you sure you get raped? Like, you're asking a rape victim if she's sure she get raped. You take your child, oh, we don't have anybody to do the forensic interview right now. We don't have a doctor. We don't have a female police to accompany the child to the hospital. These are all excuses, and these are all things that I've personally heard when it comes to the rape of children that police officers and social worker have been using for years. You go to them. I remember somebody just messaged me about a story about this woman running on the East Coast to the child protection office on the East Coast for years. A man molesting her son since he's small, and the son never say anything to anybody. When the son finally talk, and she goes to the probation officer and she make a report to the station, and so every time she go, oh, you gotta come, mommy, you gotta come back. Oh, nobody there right now for take the report. Oh, we can deal with it later. Oh, come at a later date. And we're talking about children being raped and molested daily. Just last year, there were more than 4,000 cases reported. 1,000, more than 1,000 and something of those child abuse cases reported were for sexual violence, sexual assault. And we will see those numbers rising because, again, social protection is not willing to do anything about these pedophiles and about these rapists. You're just putting them on $100,000 and $200,000 bail and they're going out there to rape and do the same thing again. And then when they do the same thing again, the next thing you know, they flee and they go to another country. Then Venezuela, they're hiding out in Suriname. And these children are left clearly not okay
It's
to deal
very,
with what
very
they have
sad.
been through.
Someone said to
It is.
some
I don't. I guess it's not important to this government unless it. When they say it hits close to home, unless it's a family members of there or something actually happened to their family member or friend that they know. I think that's the only way we might be able to get them to understand the reality of our children living in Guyana.
They don't care, Melly Mel. They don't care. And I'll tell you this, you have broken a lot of stories. You exposed the story with Nigel Darmlal, who was the minister, I think, of local government then, on the rape of a young girl. And we understand that so many more young women were literally sexually raped, I would say, statutory rape, because these are underage children. So
Norman, here's what.
you broke a
We
lot of
have
stories.
we have
The
we have a
government is
rapist
still
sitting in parliament
protecting.
right now. We have a rapist sitting in the parliament now. The agriculture minister, the junior agriculture minister, he's a rapist. He raped a 13-year-old. She committed suicide, and he's there sitting
The
in
current
parliament. We have
agriculture minister,
the junior agriculture minister. Yes,
the junior
yes,
agriculture
very much
minister.
so. The junior agriculture minister, and he's there sitting in parliament. Nothing comes of it. These people protect rapists and they protect pedophiles. That's what the people. That's the nature, and they try to cover down these stories.
Because there seems to be rapists and pedophiles in the government. In the government, in
Very much
powerful
so.
positions.
Very, very much so. I've known so much. I've known so much of them that have raped so many young women that are so afraid to come forward. I know for sure, I know for sure Anand Prasad is a rapist.
These are not allegations you're speaking out.
I know his brother is a rapist.
And these people are very close to the government. They're favored by the government. The people.
He's the minister. He was just the minister of local government.
He was
These
the
are people that
minister.
are sitting in public office. We have pedophiles sitting in public office.
Well, I hope that the Guyanese people get
Like I
serious.
said, it's a network of criminal.
A
And
network of
who do you
criminals.
go to, and who do you go to report these crimes? Who's the head of the criminal entity? Who's the head of the Guyana police force? Who's the head of the crime section? We have Blanum, who's very much corrupt, he and his wife. Imagine your wife being a criminal defense attorney, you being the crime chief. When the police bring the criminal in, book the criminal for whatever criminal activities, you are in charge of those case files. You now call your wife to defend the very same criminal that police officer would have booked in. Your wife, as a criminal defense attorney, now comes to the station to defend these very same criminals, and you are the crime chief.
So it's a
What happened when
hustle.
the two years go home?
It's a hustle.
Talk about a conflict of interest.
Wendell
And
Blannon, that is what he's
people see
doing. Senior
he
police officer.
crime chief, not senior. Don't say senior police officer.
The
Let's
crime
say
chief.
he is the crime
And his
chief.
wife is an
His wife,
attorney.
his wife is a criminal defense attorney who represents the very same criminal that he arrests. So you want to get away from you want to commit a crime, and the police hold on to you. You guarantee walking out that station if you call his wife to represent you. He get a money, she get a money, the police get a money, and
They're benefiting from
and
this.
your case jacket just happened to disappear. How about that?
The U.S. government, we have an ambassador in Guyana, we have a Canadian High Commission in Guyana, we have a UK High Commission in Guyana, and so are these people? Do you actually write to them to let them know officially that this is what is happening in Guyana?
They know normal. Normal. They're very much aware. I mean, the government might think the U.S. is aware of every single thing that's happening in Guyana. Everything. The ABC countries, they're aware of everything that's happening in Guyana. They follow social media page. They see everything. They follow activist page. They might follow your. They're very much aware of everything that's
They found
happening.
it. They said the ERC wants to talk to me, and I hear they're talking about speaking to the British government and behind the scene to get me extradited. I don't know how I can get extradited.
So
I'm
I
a
think for
British
what
citizen.
now? They
But
just had,
everybody quiet, Melly Mel. Everybody quiet. The only person
and if
who
they
spoke
don't,
out about this is
and
Simona
this
Brooms
is the
and
perfect,
Mark
this is
Benshaw.
the perfect. This is a perfect situation of the ERC being racist and being racial. They just had this Ali girl that said so many racist things towards little Adriana Young and her death and all these things that have been ranting on Facebook.
Yes, yes.
She goes in, she was never charged, not once, not twice. She was recommended for counseling and she was given a stern warning. What the fuck? I'm sorry. Am I allowed to cuss?
Yeah, you can. You can. You're free on this program. This program
She was giving,
is
and
not controlled by anybody.
she was giving a stern warning, but then they want to talk to the UK to the UK
About we,
government as it
they
relates
haven't
to
said anything.
Guyana.
They didn't say what I had done. No, they got reason. No, they got a solid reason because they're watching this program. They're watching this program and they are very scared because Melly Mel, what the most powerful black woman, the most powerful Guyanese woman in the world today, is sitting next to me. You owe me though, Melly. I bought a new shirt. I had to go and buy a new shirt just to sit next to you, you know. And then
I told you, I
Hector
told
texted me
you,
and said, you
as
want the
soon as
shirt
I
for
could
borrow.
I told you, as soon as I could travel and I come to England, I am buying you the first drink. We are
Thank
having the
you.
first drink.
Thank you. Look, and I appreciate that. I will meet with you because I know it's not the PPP sending you. So many people want to meet with me. People fly to England and they said they want to link up. I'm very hesitant. I'm very, cautious in meeting with people because we live in a very
There's
evil
two
world.
cautious people. There's two cautious people, Norman. Norman, I can't even begin to tell you how much what I do have. Um, hampered, hampered, altered. I shouldn't say hampered. So say altered my
Yeah,
life and how I
yeah,
live
yeah.
now. I have to always be careful. I can't just like my ways and means of people say, oh, you have so much followers and you can do so much. You can do like consultancy and marketing. You can host events and all these things. And while I'm getting all these offers to make all these money to do these things, I can't risk it.
You can't. You can't.
So I'm confined to.
This
No,
is a
I can't
dangerous
risk it.
government, and it has real money at its disposal now because they're siphoning off all the monies from the government. And I got Melly Mel, look, I got two more questions to ask you, and then you can give your closing
Oh, go
remarks.
ahead.
You can
Go
say
ahead.
whatever you want to say. Uh, uh, um, Susan Rodriguez. We
Hmm.
know Minister Susan Rodriguez. I don't even recall what
Susan
position
Pablo
she has.
Escobar Rodriguez.
Susan, good.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
it has been exposed that she is seriously involved in corruption as a government minister. It seems as though that is swept under the carpet. The question is tied in. This one question is tied into another question,
So
but
let me
it's
give you,
not the
let me
third
give you
question.
before the Susan thing. Let me give you a little inside
Go ahead.
wrinkle. Let me
Go
give you a
ahead.
little inside
Go ahead.
information here. So we have been sitting in Guyana wondering, how did Susan get 500 and something thousand US to the US to purchase this property in Florida? So let me tell you, Norma, this is a little secret. This is just between me, you, and the 592 comment association. How much we get? 1,000 are we on this live here? This is just between me, you, and us. So I'm going to tell you this. Y'all don't tell nobody, as this is a secret. So let me tell you how the money got up here. So
Wow.
you see the alley guy at the Guyana consulate in Florida. He was the one who was doing all the property negotiation. So he was in Florida. He was back and forth between Florida and New York, selling lands in Guyana to US
Wow.
based guys. Right? So imagine people selling in Guyana. apply for land 20 and 30 and 40 years ago and can't get land. Susan and her partner selling land to US-based Guyanese here in the US, right? So he had this money for her. So let me say Susan give you a price and say, oh, so a piece of land, and mind you, a 120 by 6, a 60 by 120 piece of land is 15,000 US. The she bribe money, right? She bribe money is 15,000 US. He gonna put on another 10,000 US for he. And then the actual cost of the land is probably another 15,000 US or 10,000 US, 2 million, depends on how much. So basically, if you as a US based Guyanese come to me, you want a piece of land, okay, give me $50,000, you get a piece of land. They arrange the paper, they fix the paperwork and everything at housing in Guyana. And all these US based Guyanese have to do is fly home, sign the paper, and they're awarded land. That is what happened. So this man that runs the Guyana, that's head of the Guyana consulate in Florida, he was conducting business at hold on. Let me get the bar name for you that they conduct the business. Now that I talk, I think they're gonna go back. But anyways,
Wow.
who need the information already have it. So whether they go to conduct business. So they were conducting business at the wait a minute. I have the name of the lounge. Why is it not coming up? Just now, Miami. Toxic. So they were conducting business at the Tropics, at the Tropics Lounge. So the Guyana consulate, head of the Guyana consulate, I think his title is Ali. He have been selling land to US-based Guyanese for Susan Rodriguez, and he have been conducting business at the Tropics Lounge in Florida. That's where they usually conduct the business. Or sometimes he flies to New York. If he have a client in New York, he flies to New York to conduct the business, collect this cash for land in Guyana. So that's how she been selling land. And that is why the house was bought for in cash. Don't worry the paper that she produced. All false, all fake. That is why the house was bought, her mansion in Miami was bought for using cash because he had the cash for her here. So it was just for him to purchase the land for him. If you notice, his address is also on his office address, his LLC. The LLC that she used to is his address. He's the one that did the purchase for her because he had the money for her. And that's how the money was up here already. Anyways.
Hell, this is revelation after revelation. Melly Mel will take us.
What is
It will take
what
us
is the
3
second part of that
programs to.
question? Mark?
Actually, look. What is
You
happening?
see,
Nothing is.
y'all watch the interview and y'all get a little something that that normally you see I give you a little exclusive of something that you know.
Thank you. This is an
So
exclusive, and I know they're worried.
that is what happened. So for those of you that are wondering, because we keep wondering when they say how she transfer 500 and something thousand US to a bank account, and no, she didn't transfer anything. The money was up here waiting for her. Her partner in crime, who's the head of the Guyana Council in Florida, that they do business together, who seems to think that because he have a diplomatic passport, the US can't touch him, forgetting that he's a US citizen as well. I'll say no more, Norman.
Melly Mel, wow. Such a simple, humble conversation, and so much powerful energy, and the information is coming out. The revelations are happening here on this program. You are
And I have so much,
exceptional. You are
Norman,
exceptional.
I have so much Norman, I tell you, I have so much information, sometimes I don't know what to do with it.
Do
It's a
you be,
lot.
do
I
you
dare
believe
them
that
to
this?
sue, and I dare them to sue me at any time because the paperworks are there. That is why they're not coming to the US to sue me. They keep suing me in a court. Why are they coming to the US and sue me? Why Irfan Ali Mudding coming to the US and sue me? They sue me in Canada. Normally, they
Sorry,
might sue me in England. Just
I'm on a live. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Melly Mel. Go ahead.
Mhm.
Look, let me say this to you. All of this is allowed to happen, and the government and their friends and cronies and family and so on are getting away with these things because we feel strongly that there is a weak opposition. In the coming weeks, starting from next week, my campaign will be for the removal of Aubrey Norton from the PNCR so that the PNCR under Terence Campbell, Saiku, and others can, hold on, they can do the work, right? They can do the work. We have seen Melly Mel. I want to make this, because I'm very serious. The PPP is getting away with it because the opposition is not doing what you are the opposition. You are the opposition, Melly Mel. Look, so
Norman,
wait. Just allow me 1 second. My work is to ensure that the opposition is strengthened. Aubrey Norton, the leader of the PNCR, has failed miserably. It has been proven. He is inserting himself stronger within the party, and he's calling the shots, and he's impeding the progress that an opposition can make to not only to rebuild itself but to confront the PPP effectively. And therefore, I want you to give your view on this issue in relation to Aubrey Norton's presence. When you fail,
um,
anywhere in this world, when you fail as a leader, what kind of society, what kind of people will entertain and continue to allow a failure to call the shots in the party? Somebody, the Jack Dio said, I want him to remain as leader of the opposition. Talk to us a bit about that before I ask you the last question and we wrap up.
Norman, I kind of made. I'm gonna try my best to be politically correct here because I kind of promised a friend of mine that I'm not going to, you know, I'm going to desist
You're not going to
from
upset the
bashing.
apple cart.
No, from bashing Aubrey Norton publicly, but I will say this: Corbyn. What happened when Corbyn? You remember when Robert Corbyn
Yes.
ran for presidential candidate? What happened after he lost
He gave
and only
up. He
got
said,
21?
he gave up. He gave up. He said, look, I have to go.
Disappeared. Right? He disappeared, right?
Precisely.
He went
Precisely.
behind the scene, right? What happened when Granger lost in 2020?
Disappeared. Walked away. Give someone else a
Disappeared,
chance.
right? We have never, the APNU, the APNU, the PNC, APNU, AFC, PNC, have never lost this bad in an election.
In the history of the country.
We still have the person as much as they want to. And it's funny, thanks for bringing this question up, because as much as the PNC diehard supporters want to blame me for, according to them, taking away thousands of votes from the APNU, mind you, they holding Aubrey Norton or the APNU responsible for anything. But then this is the same PNC supporters that just come out and the little fairies that they get just go to Parliament and come out to curse me, right? Forgetting that I, Melly Mel, from 2020 to 2025 was the only opposition the country knew, because they didn't know Arbery, they didn't know APNU existed, because I was the only person
That's correct. That's correct.
carrying the weight of the entire country, whether it's injustice, whether it's rape, whether it's protests. I am sitting in New York and organizing protests in Guyana, whether it's supporting our teachers, our nurses, our doctors, public servants, right? Forgetting that I was practically the only opposition the PP had for the last 6 years, right? Mind you, these same people come out and cost me, the same PP supporters come out and cost me, forgetting that I was the main opposition and the only opposition for the PP for the last 6 years. So that is why sometimes now, man, I just be like this. And so that is why when they come to ask me sometimes, oh, Melly Mel, who are you to talk about the PNC, or who are you to talk about Aubrey Norton? I have a right to. I have earned it. I have earned that right to criticize anybody from the PNC or the APNU, because I have been the only opposition that y'all party members and y'all followers and the people that follow y'all know. Anytime they want something fixed, Melly Mel. They want to raise money, Melly Mel. Protest, Melly Mel. And I've been doing everything sitting in
You
New
have.
York.
You have. You have. You have.
So who are you to tell me that I don't have an opinion on Aubrey Norton or the PNC or the APNU? It was okay for me to have an opinion for the last 5 years when I was advocating for your party, and when I was being basically the opposition. But now all of a sudden, I carry thousands of so we can hold Aubrey responsible. So we're not going to hold Aubrey Norton responsible for everybody that left that party
Wow.
for, for petty politics, right? And don't get me wrong, this is not me attacking Aubrey. I promise I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't say anything. So,
No, you're
but
being
at no
objective.
point,
You're being objective. You've been asked a
yeah, but at
question. You're
no
being
point,
objective.
but we're just gonna continue to blame Melly Mel and Odessa Primus, and at no point in time, y'all are not going to hold Aubrey Norton accountable for what happened to the APNU. Y'all just hell bent on cussing Melly Mel. All
Aubrey
I've
has to
done,
go. He has to step
all
down.
I've been doing is my job. All I've been doing is advocating for people. And not just one set of people. I've been advocating for everybody. Right? So I honestly feel that the people in the party, I honestly feel that Terence Campbell, Saiku, who's the lawyer, Dexter Todd,
Dexter Todd. Yeah.
um,
Sherrod Duncan.
Ganesh,
Ganesh.
Sherrod,
Nima Fu.
Coretta, Nima. Who's the other Indian guy? I like that Indian guy, that
Yeah,
young
I like
Indian
that
guy
guy
that.
too. What's his name again?
I like him.
Rice,
No,
Rice
no.
something.
But he used to teach at Queen's College. He's good. I like him.
He's a
He,
rising leader. What's his name? Right. I don't remember. I don't remember his name at the moment.
me
But he
personally,
is. He's
and I
promising.
don't, and I don't care if these parliamentarians are upset with me. Vince Roy, all of y'all, the 13 or the 12 of y'all that are sitting as parliamentarian, I personally feel that y'all need to have a serious conversation with
They
Aubrey,
need to.
because
You took the word
y'all,
out of my mouth. Go
listen,
ahead.
because y'all have been enabling Aubrey with this bullshit.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Y'all need to have a serious conversation with him. We don't want to see Aubrey in any flyer. Street politics, I love it.
Thank you
I love
so much.
I love
Wow.
the whole thing.
Wow.
Street politics, I love it. Bring back the old politics. Go out and reach the community. Rebuild the party. Ground root politics. Rebuild the party. Do all of this. I love it. But can we do that without having Aubrey at the center of it? This is a man that just took the APNU from Tortoma seats to
But
12.
he is using 1 second. He's using them as leverage because he is the person that has to
I
decide
have
who
no personal.
become MPs and
If
so
you're
on. So the
watching
people
it,
are
because
feeling pressured. They're
listen,
feeling pressured. They're feeling pressured that they can't do the right thing because Aubrey decides they must go to Parliament. Aubrey decides he got the groups who will vote at the Congress, and so on. Aubrey has set up something, but I'm saying this in the coming weeks. that the Guyanese people must understand the importance of the first step of removing the PPP. Aubrey Norton has to go. And he must not hold anybody at ransom. He must not make anybody feel guilty that I help you
Here's
or I
what
give you this and I do whatever.
here's what,
Right?
Norman. I don't think he needs to go like in per se, like just get rid of him.
He needs to
He is
go from
no
the
no no.
leadership. He needs to stay in the background.
No, from the leadership, yes. But I think he's very Arby Norton.
Yes, I agree.
I
He
think he's
still
very.
has to be there.
I think you're very, very valuable to the party, and we need people like you. Let me just say this. Let me just say this from my heart. I think we need people like Aubrey Norton that knows grassroots politics and these things. We need him. We need people like him. We need people
Yeah.
like him, like Volga, and we need the Carol. We need the Carol
Carl Smith
Smith and
Joseph. Yeah.
Sean and those people. We need those people.
You're a good
We
friend.
need them. Or we need people like you who are who knows grassroots politics. Me personally, and I say this all the time. I think Shauna Daniels should be sitting in parliament. She should be a parliamentarian. Nobody works the harder than that young lady. And if she can take a back seat and not fight up about having a seat in parliament, you know, I got to give her respect for that. That's due respect because she care about parliament. She care about
The work.
the groundwork, getting the groundwork done, about doing the groundwork. The same thing with Carol about doing the groundwork. But I think they need to understand that Aubrey needs to take a back seat now.
Needs to take
I'm
a
seeing a
back seat.
flyer coming up about street politics. Rebuild the party. Redirect the narrative of the party. Your 12th Cheryl Duncan, mind me in talking right now because he upset wherever. Me case still my
Very,
brother.
very, very petty, but he's a great guy. He's very
I
petty. He doesn't
tell
speak
you,
to me. He doesn't
I
speak to
very
me either. He doesn't speak to me either. I just want you to know that.
Norman, Norman, both he
I
petty. He
think
petty.
he's a great guy. Sharon is a very petty person. Sharon is somebody that you know, I don't know what it is, but I have to speak the truth. Sharon Duncan is one of the best parliamentarians there right now. Sharon Duncan is a
I
worker.
said
Sharon Duncan.
I
So with
was.
this
I
whole
said
petty
between.
business, I don't have a problem with it.
I don't care. We all be petty. Normal, we got we ways. I gonna take you with the.
Yeah.
I gonna take.
You
I
need
gonna
to. I
take
would take him
Sharon
with
the
the
petty
pettiness.
ways before I take any of our PPP minister or any other
Precisely.
parliamentarian.
Precisely.
I gonna take Sharon
Precisely.
the petty ways. But I'll be petty, Norman. I'll be the set things that we don't think that's fine.
Yes,
When
it's true.
me talking right now, but whenever I know I must see some at some point in time, we shall meet up and we will have that conversation. But nevertheless, I am saying that your 12 parliamentarians, that girl Nemo, she works.
Yeah, Nemo
She
is a
works.
worker. Yeah.
Corretto. Vince Roy, I listened to his speech. Terrence Campbell. Terrence Campbell was the first one that started this thing with start opening our eyes to what was happening with the oil money and start exposing this
Yes,
thing and
yes,
how they
yes,
were
yes.
using the finances. Aubrey, your MPs they can do the work.
They can change it. They can
They
turn
are
it around.
good.
They can.
They
I
they
can't
are
mention
good at
Terrence
what they
because Terrence
do.
is my best
They
friend,
can
and I
turn.
don't want people to say I'm biased. Terrence is my best friend, and I don't want people to say I'm biased. And Terrence has so much principles that Terrence says to me, "You need to leave Aubrey alone. Aubrey has his contributions to make." Terrence stands up for Aubrey in a way that he recognizes Aubrey is someone that is instrumental to
He
part. But
does.
Terrence is my friend. Terrence, I tell Terrence I will axe Aubrey Norton. Terrence said to me, Norman, Aubrey has his role to play. Aubrey is Terrence is such a person, is such a beautiful person. I can't influence Terrence. And I've never heard Terrence said to me a bad word about Aubrey Norton. The whole world knows that when I go after Aubrey, I put Aubrey there. Is I made Aubrey the PNCR leader, and I will remove him because this struggle, Melly Mel, it ties in to what the PPP is getting away with. We have a new confabulation after being beaten badly to reduce the 12 MPs under Aubrey's leadership. These 12 MPs are ready to act like 36 MPs. And you are telling
But
me
that's what I'm
that an
saying. That's what
impediment
I'm
is in the
saying.
way, and the
Aubrey, that's what I was
party,
about to say to him. Aubrey, your MPs can do the work. Those
they
12
can.
MPs that you have there, put your trust in them. They can do the work. They have been doing exceptionally well from the time the election finished
Thank
to now.
you. Thank you.
I have never And I have never seen the AP and UPNC so seen. Like I am like
It's
actually hearing and
magical.
seeing
It's
them
now
now.
he jumping
Because
up in
I can
front,
tell you,
inserting
for the
himself on the
last five
flyer.
years,
It's
for the
daunting.
last 5 years, for the last 5 years, I felt as though I was the only opposition.
But you
Now
were.
we
Now
have
you don't
all
feel.
these
You
people coming.
were. You were the
You
only
have men
opposition.
coming. And between the PNC, between the APNU MPs and Win MPs, they're getting the work done. Norman, I can sit down and relax because I'm tired.
Well, you know what? I have to ask you this before I ask you the final question, and I want to say this very seriously. Azruddin Mohammed, the leader of the opposition, I am now beginning to think because somebody texted me when you said that somebody called you and said to you, "Be careful when you go on the program because Norman he would ask trick questions and he would draw you out." That's journalists. The person wasn't speaking badly about me. They were just saying to you, like, you know what, this guy is hard,
I know,
so
I
be
know, I
careful.
know.
But
But I also,
hold on. Somebody texted me and said, maybe that is the reason why Azruddin Mohammed doesn't want to come. I want to say to my viewers, I spoke to Azruddin once. Once. We had a conversation that was somewhat lengthy in the presence of a friend. And I have never found somebody so humble, so cool, and so respectful. You understand? And I can't say to Azruddin that you should come on my program. But I could say to the leader of the opposition, after 30 years in this struggle, and on a political program, you have a right, as the leader of the opposition, to come on this program. Whether you think you're going to face the hard questions or not, I want you to know something. I will never undermine your struggle against the PPP. I would never do it. Because we cannot undermine the PNCR or win or any political party that is in the struggle against the PPP to bring Guyana back to what it should be. Azruddin Mohammed, as the leader of the opposition, is now being asked in the new week to come on this program. My question, before you give your closing remarks, you know, Melly Mel, I have to say this as we wind down. Oh, Melly Mel, I think she's gone there. Something happened there. But I want to expand on the point until Melly returns. We've lost her there. She's coming in back. Uh, uh, Melly,
yeah.
cheers. Look, I want to say this to you, and I always have a light note. I'm not someone, the world knows I'm a serious person. People are afraid sometimes and so on. But I have a side of me that you'll have. But look, I have to say what I said to Amanza, right? You're a beautiful woman. I don't think I gotta be fighting now and wrestling for see like is you are a manza. You are and I as a powerful activist for all my life. Intellectual stimulation, the power of a woman is not only in her beauty, but in what she represents. That sort of stimulation that makes a real man desire. I know you're a married woman,
Norman, are you
but
trying?
hold on. No, I'm not
Norman,
trying.
are you trying?
I,
Norman, you trying
I've
to
been out.
Are you
I've been
trying to
out and
ask me out,
no,
Norman?
I've been out and buying you. No. When Rick Ford ordered you coming on this program, he ended up in hospital. He had wrapped up like a Taliban. He started getting ague fever. When he heard that you were coming on this program, he tell people he got foot problem because you were coming. But it's nice to have a light moment. But I think you're remarkably beautiful. I think you're a very, very attractive woman,
Thank you.
like Amanzo and Walton and others. And that your work and your contribution is so powerful. It is intellectually stimulating, and this is a leader that fills the gap of great men as a woman. And so you are the entirety of a human being, regardless of gender. Powerful, beautiful, and the PPP will never have you. But I want this other person that has a problem with me, with you. Look. This person is standing in my way. You know that Barry Salmon song, "Standing in My Way," because I think you and this person got a relationship, and they start. Oh, this person.
I am sorry for all the negative things I would have said about you, Mr. President. I truly apologize. I will never say another negative thing about you, Mr. President. Please do the right thing. The people of this
Norman, you know what? Norman, he's one of the first person, apart from the park in Mito, because I protested the park in Mito with Patrice Trace Green when she and the guy was trying to do the
Yes.
shady
He
deal and
calls your
stuff.
name all the time. He
I,
calls your name all the time. Go ahead,
I
sorry.
was one of the I was one of the person protesting the park in Mito. So people was like, "Oh, she wasn't protesting during and she wasn't doing activism during AP and U time." No, I was. I protested that park in Mito among a lot of other things, including that cybercrime bill that was introduced that they
Yes.
introduced into Parliament. And I was one of the persons that went to Critics House in 2020 when he went on his rant on the program talking about, oh, black people can't read and you want to
And
you want to
disrespected women.
deter
Yeah,
black
yeah,
people.
yeah.
Just put something
Black
in a
women.
book. They don't open books on them. I was highly fucking annoyed because how dare you? I was the one that led that
Went to his house.
protest, went to his house with other activists and protested. So that is where the hatred for critics for me came from. I went to his house. I made him move out of the house that he was living in. Well, not only me, they ain't paying you rent, but Norman.
But but he like Anil Nandalal, he calls your name all the time. He displays a particular hatred that I feel that he's, when when the fox can't get the grapes, the fox is sour. But he is somebody else. I think he calls your name. He's sleeping at night and he just jump out of bed and say Melly Mel, Melly Mel, Melly Mel, right? Like Anil Nandalal. But the funny thing is that
You know
Anil,
what, Norman? I don't understand. I don't understand how little old nice me. I am just a
no,
simple
you're not
person.
old. You're
But
not. You're
upset
not
so
old or
many.
whatever. You are a powerful woman and you're very attractive and you know it. I have seen you throw your hints at the PPP. You put on a tights and you show them everything and said, "This is where y'all can get. This is where y'all want." And in closing, and we're going to close. And I'll get your closing remarks. But you have an ability as you reach the highest of heights, you have the ability, that natural flair to connect and to continue to be a part of the people that follow you, the grassroots people, the oppressed people, and so on. You there, you entertain them. You were like Beyonce, where Beyonce got a beehive, right? You got 592. Those people don't. Nobody wants any problem with you because these people come out like they're gonna kill for you, right? The fine. And so you are, but the thing is, right? So I watch him a thing because me say nothing, because me want the 592 come after me. But I want to say this, and I want to repeat before I get your closing remarks. Melly Mel here, Melissa Ann Atwell here on Through the Grapevine, talking to us. Our viewers are watching, they're tuned in. I want to say to you, thank you, because we don't say that much. Thank you for what you are doing for Guyana. Thank you for the lives you have saved. Thank you for the children that are safe because you are around. Thank you for the man who wants to interfere with a child but is hesitant because if it gets to Melly Mel. Thank you for standing up. Thank you for being a voice. Your closing remarks.
Norman, I don't know. Maybe one day, um, I don't know how to. Sometimes, like my friends say to me, I don't know how to. I don't know how to accept help, and I don't know how to take compliments. I, well, I don't like. I don't know how they're saying. Oh, you don't know how to accept help. You don't know how to ask. You don't know how to say no. You don't know how to accept compliments, and that's because I can't. And that's because I'm guessing because what I do is that I genuinely do because um I love people. I wanna better the lives of people. So if you ask me today or tomorrow, Melly Mel, what have you done that you can say have a lasting impact, or what was your purpose this life in you? What was your purpose on this earth? I want to be able to say that I was able to change the life of somebody that I crossed path with. And luckily for me, fortunately for me, I am able to say that I have managed And Norman, I am rich. I am no billionaire or millionaire, but I
You
have
should be.
managed.
You should be. You should be.
I know.
Because the Guyanese people must
Um,
recognize what you're doing. You put your life on that. The ultimate price you're willing to pay. And that is Guyana. Guyana, you see the PPP? There's one thing you can say about the PPP. You see the criminal young people and all them around the PPP. The PPP rewards them. The PPP, you see the little social media man won't go out and cause Smelly Mel? He could fly all over the
yeah.
world. Our people
Mm.
need to understand and appreciate what we are doing, and it's an unthankful job, if there's such a word. It's a thankless job, if there's such a word. And I'm a man, and I fight, and I live a reasonably good life. You understand? But when a woman like you stand up so much and you've done so much for our country, our people must ensure that you want for nothing, nothing, nothing,
Well, no,
nothing. You
Norman,
understand what I'm
I
saying
just
to you?
want to say, I
And
like I
we
was
take
saying,
that for granted. We take that for granted.
I am fortunately I am fortunate to say that for me I'm fortunate to say that I have changed the lives of so many people, and it makes me feel good. And everybody know that I do stuff, and it don't even meet social media. I just do it because I want to help, and I want to help a family. I want to help a single mother. I want to help a rape victim. I want to help a child that's been molested. I have find myself spread so thin. I do so much. Sometimes it's again overwhelming, but like I said, this has literally become my life.
Life,
And
it has,
um
yeah, yeah.
and not only that too, Norman, I want to say, like I said again, like I said since early in the interview, I would have not I would have not been here if it wasn't for the people that click like on that social media page, that follow me and that lend their support. And you said something that made me laugh when you said you don't want to come, nobody wants to come for Medimel because the 592 attacks them. And I just want to say that um it's amazing that I have people that I've never met,
Met, yeah.
you know, that prays to me,
Your
that
influence,
speak highly of me,
yeah.
that loves me, and that sees me for exactly who I am. And I've never met these people that trust me, right? That would go out on social media and defend my name, my honor, my family. Like they do these things, and I feel as though like I feel like it's a fair exchange, Norman. I help, I help, they help to what do I say? I help people, they help to protect me. They help to
Yeah,
protect my
yeah.
integrity, they help to protect my character, they help to protect my image, and for that I will forever be appreciative. I
Grateful,
wish I
yeah.
could meet everybody that follow me and say thanks and like and all these things, but I'm lucky to meet some of them every now and again here and there from some I meet them and I'm able to say hi and give them a hug and say thank you for supporting me. I appreciate you, and they say the same thing, but it goes two ways. I appreciate them as well. That's what I'm trying to say. I
I think you
really,
love
really
them. I
do.
think you love them. I honestly think you
Do.
love them.
I do. I
It's
feel as
not only
though,
appreciation.
listen,
I think and they
feel,
deserve that. They
I
deserve
feel as
that.
though me and the 592 get we own language. Like I'm making a joke the other day and say, you know what? The 592 said they won't mind nobody business this year. And the 592, hey, auntie, don't talk for we. Bring the business. We want. So it's like we have our own, like, and it's crazy.
Miss Arnott, well, it has been my greatest pleasure. I want your
And
closing remarks
Norman, let
before
me
you
just
go.
say this.
Your closing
Thank
remarks.
you as well, Norman. Thank you as well, Norman, for everything that you do. You're there in England. You're in the struggle with me and other activists. You've been consistent, and don't worry the ERC. You've been consistent in what you do. You have never been afraid to speak out. You've never been afraid to say how you feel. I respect you and I appreciate you for that. Thank you for having me on your program. I hope that we could do
We
so
make my
much
skin good.
more.
I was going to say, I want to send work back in hospital. I was going to say, when you come, it's a date when we have, but now I want him to see you. Melly Mel, thank you so much
Thank
for being
you.
here. I have
Thank you
sat
so much.
today with one of the greatest activists that Guyana has. Thank you so much for joining us here on Through the Grapevine. And until
Thank
next
you for
time.
having me,
Until
Norman.
next
Until
time.
next time. Take care,
There
guys.
is corruption within the PPP. Their ministers are corrupt. Their permanent secretaries are corrupt. Government officials are corrupt. So therefore, y'all are admitting that there is corruption. So y'all can't come and say, oh, we are committed to fighting corruption. You mean y'all committed to fighting the same corruption that y'all said don't exist? And when y'all say y'all are committed to eliminating corruption and fighting corruption, means that y'all are committed to fighting against y'all self, because all y'all are corrupt from the president right down. And this is why there can't be no, there really can't be no fight on corruption, you know, because all of them are corrupt. And let me tell you how the what I should say. Let me tell you how these mob bosses, these criminals work. Is the vice president is Irfan Ali, and then make no mistake, then Nandalal comes. He's like the third or fourth powerful person in the party. He's the attorney general, of course. He's a murderer, a thief, a liar. I've said it numerous occasions. I don't need to tell y'all what Nandalal is capable of. Y'all know what Jack Dio's capable of. Y'all know what Irfan Ali is capable of. So this is how they control the economy, and they have a say in anything, and this is how the corruption works. Everybody get their own particular sector. So Anil, he is responsible for the money laundering and stuff when it comes to like the super bets. He is the real owner for Sleeping Casino and all these gambling locations. That is Anil. That's his thing. He is money laundering. He is that thing. And every now and again, he would kill an activist. You know, if they upset you, or if they're coming outside the office and beating drums and calling you a crook and saying that the people deserve to go. Every now and again, he'll pay, you know, he and his partner, Anand Prasad, who owns NTN, where I used to work, by the way. Every now and again, they will pay to kill a few activists, or, you know, just unalive them. So that's Anil. Then there is Irfan Ali, who has always been corrupt when it comes to the selling of state assets, state lands, and those kind of things. That's his thing. That is why he has such a firm control and hold over the Ministry of Housing. Don't be fooled. Colin Crowell and Susan Roderick, they were just there in namesake. Just like how he's there as the president in namesake. It's like he really and truly, he was the minister of he still is the minister of housing, because he holds on to that ministry, because that is where he makes his money. That's where he made his riches. That is where he started his corruption. That is where he started selling state lands. That's where he started selling lands. That's where he made most of his money, and where he continues to make more of his money. So he holds on to housing and all these things, and he also have all the other corrupt deal that he has his friends fronting. He get the drawback according to, you know, his friends, according to his best friend Sona, his mother will collect the 5%. He has his brother, who is a Canadian citizen, who he just gave all the contract to do those I think it's millions of dollars in I was working on that to get it out, but millions of dollars, millions of US in contract that he would have given to his brother, who's a Canadian citizen. So Irfan Ali, brother, I hope that you are declaring all those international earnings to the Canadian authorities, because I do plan on writing a letter to the Canadian authorities informing them that you would have all these multi-million dollars. Since y'all want to sue me here in America, I only think it's fair that the Canadian authorities are paid their taxes, their correct taxes. So I do hope, Irfan Ali, that your brother that owns was it Raz Control? I'm gonna get the name because I have all the documents, I have everything that he owns. I do hope that he is declaring all of his profits that he's making overseas his international profit, because as a Canadian citizen, he is required to do so. So I do hope that he's declaring all of his profits that he's making in Guyana from all those contracts that you giving him, that GWI is giving him to build all those water well and all those things that they get going on. I do hope that, you know, he's declaring all of that to the Canadian authorities, because I have a letter that is already prepared and I intend on writing to the Canadian authorities. I do hope that any business that is in your mom's name in Guyana as well, I hope that she's declaring her taxes as well, because I do plan on writing as it relates to where the rich is coming from, how much money in the bank account, and if they're paying taxes on those money in the bank account. Because what your mother and I think we all fail to realize is that when you all sue people and you all sue people internationally and you all are going people after Facebook and Meta and Mark, is that you have now introduced yourself and your family to be scrutinized internationally. And that is what I intend to do. I intend to bring the international attention that you guys are looking for to your family. So I really, really hope that all y'all ducks are in a row. Okay? Yes. So then we have Irfan, like I was said, selling houses and the house lots and all kind of things. He continues to sell state property. As you can see, Mohammed did a video about Sheriff owning these lands and all his friends and family that are using state-owned land. I would have posted last year about where he built a house for his side chick in Eccles on somewhere that was supposed to be a play field or something for the kids in Eccles in those areas. Then, so he controls that along with his drawback. He got the energy thing going. That's why he put Indar as the Minister of Energy and whatever else, and water and transportation, whatever else he get going on there, because Indar is the partner, so they can cook up the own thing with the oil and gas and all that. He can get the drawback from Indar, wherever corruption they get going on. Then he get, like I say, he get Jumbo Jet and all them big contractors. Then he get the Trinidadian crew. So let me tell you.